rising sea levels, land subsidence, unchecked urbanization. These global threats are pushing some of the world's most iconic cities closer to disaster. From Asia to Europe, millions of people are at risk of losing their homes and livelihoods as their cities slowly sink beneath the waves. Today, we're counting down 10 sinking cities that could disappear soon. Let's dive in. 10. Jakarta, Indonesia. Rapid subsidence and rising sea levels. Indonesia's capital, Jakarta, is sinking at an alarming rate. Some areas are subsiding by up to 6.7 inches per year. Over-extraction of groundwater and unchecked urban development have left the city vulnerable. By 2050, nearly a third of Jakarta could be underwater. In response, Indonesia has approved a $33 billion plan to relocate its capital, which could take about 10 years. 9. Lagos, Nigeria. Coastal erosion and flooding. Lagos, Nigeria's economic hub, is one of the fastest-growing cities in the world, but it's also one of the most vulnerable to climate change. Rising sea levels and frequent floods threaten millions of residents. And with the Atlantic Ocean swallowing up the coastline, experts warn that Lagos could be uninhabitable by the end of the century. 8. Houston, Texas, United States. Land subsidence from groundwater extraction. You may not think of Houston as a sinking city, but Texas's largest metropolis is slowly subsiding due to groundwater pumping and geological shifts. Some areas are sinking by nearly 2 inches per year, and with increasingly intense hurricanes bringing devastating floods, Houston could face a watery future sooner than expected. 7. Dhaka, Bangladesh. Flooding from rising rivers and sea levels. Home to over 20 million people, Dhaka is one of the most flood-prone cities in the world. The combination of rising sea levels, river erosion, and unchecked urban development is making parts of the city uninhabitable. If global temperatures continue to rise, much of Dhaka could be submerged within the next few decades. 6. Virginia Beach, USA. Erosion and groundwater withdrawal. Virginia Beach may be known for its beautiful shores, but those very waters are now a threat. The city is one of the fastest sinking areas in the U.S., with sea levels rising twice as fast as the global average. Experts predict that without intervention, large parts of Virginia Beach could disappear under the waves by 2050. 5. Bangkok, Thailand. Groundwater pumping and urbanization. Thailand's bustling capital, Bangkok, is slowly sinking due to excessive groundwater extraction, heavy infrastructure, and rising sea levels. In response, Bangkok has created an 11-acre flood-resistant park capable of storing 1 million gallons of rainwater. Some areas are dropping nearly an inch per year, and scientists predict that without major intervention, Bangkok could be completely submerged by 2100s. 4. New Orleans, Louisiana, United States. Below sea level with significant flood risk. New Orleans has battled rising waters for centuries, but the situation is worsening. The city is sinking at a rate of up to 2 inches per year, and its coastal wetlands, which once served as natural barriers, are disappearing. With hurricanes becoming more destructive, New Orleans faces an uncertain future. 3. Miami, Florida, United States. Facing a slow-motion disaster. Rising sea levels are already causing sunny day flooding, and without drastic action, much of the city could disappear by the end of this century. Rising sea levels, weak foundation, and frequent hurricanes and storm surges battered the city. Experts estimate that hundreds of billions in damages are expected by 2050. 2. Alexandria, Egypt. Rising seas threatening coastal heritage. Once a great center of ancient civilization, Alexandria is now fighting to stay above water. Rising Mediterranean sea levels are slowly eroding the coastline, threatening historical landmarks and displacing thousands of people. Scientists warn that large portions of Alexandria could be underwater by 2050. 1. Venice, Italy. Historic sinking worsened by climate change. Venice, the floating city, is slowly sinking into the lagoon. Rising sea levels and frequent floods, known as acqua alta, are threatening its ancient architecture. Despite efforts like the Meuse Flood Barrier Project, experts warn that without drastic action, Venice could be permanently submerged within a century. Climate change, poor infrastructure, and human activity are accelerating the crisis. But is there still hope? As global sea levels are projected to rise by up to 6.6 feet by 2100s, urgent action is needed to mitigate the risks. Which of these cities do you think can be saved? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more eye-opening content. This is Innovatronics TV. See you in the next video.